Welcome. Have found yourself at the Sports Memo Wager Talk recording studios. We're doing tapings of a number of Thanksgiving football games, and I'm going to review the number one team in college football, at least according to most. That would be the Georgia Bulldogs. They're going to hit the road for a second straight week, play a game against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. This Georgia Tech and Georgia game played in Atlanta, Georgia, the 25th of November, coming up on it. It's scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And it's basically this is going to be the old-fashioned hate game that you see every year between Georgia and Tech. And, of course, ABC, ESPN networks will have the honor of broadcasting this. Georgia comes in heavily favored and looking for its sixth straight win over the Yellow Jackets. Defending back-to-back national champion Georgia Bulldogs, really their eyes are set on what we all know to be set on. That's the college football playoffs. They're going to be in. They have to have a meltdown not to be there. Latest rankings have them number one. And last week, Georgia came off a very nice win over a good Tennessee Volunteers team at 38-10. The Yellow Jackets will be playing a bowl game this year after going through several tough seasons, guys. They've had an up and down season even this year with a dramatic win, though, over Miami and maybe what some would call a head scratcher in an upset over North Carolina. Or the head scratching loss being that to Bowling Green. Georgia opens the Tech game is more than a three-touchdown favorite. The Bulldogs topped Georgia Tech 37-14 last year in Athens, and the current point spread in this game, -23, -24, depending on your store, your shop, be it a Vegas or a U.S.-based or licensed sportsbook or offshore even. The total checks in at 16.5, and if you're a money line player, Georgia's minus all the others minus 3,500 for this game. Football coach Kirby Smart, Georgia's, he's looking to really cap off a third straight undefeated regular season this Saturday against the Tech Yellow Jackets. Tech 6-5, playing an undefeated Georgia team, and Georgia Tech head coach Brent Key is 10-9 in his first year and a half at the helm. Really, all things aside, Key has done a great job kind of revitalizing this Tech roster and the program. And again, those wins over Miami and North Carolina are just huge. Hard to even put it into words how important it was for that program and for Key. Really, the questions here are, what is Kirby Smart looking to do to stay ahead of Georgia Tech? He has a lot of injuries that he's dealing with right now, really overwhelming. Fortunately for Georgia, they're so deep and they're recruiting. And the fact is that NFL stars have to transfer out of this program a lot of times because they're not going to get playing time. And Kirby, he updated Ladd McConkle's ankle injury that would not require a tightrope surgery, which is another video, really. But McConkey missed the Tennessee game, and it looks like he's going to be good to go. I expect that all the information that I've gathered on this is that he will be playing. Georgia Tech quarterback Hayes King is thrown for 2,500 and change this yard, and he's already fourth on the Georgia Tech history list as far as quarterbacks and yardage thrown. Unbelievable, really, considering. King, good mobility. He's really the second leading rusher, too, behind this team. So, past to forward, Tech's a different team than they were 3, 4, 5 years ago, as we all know. And the only other injury, as far as Tech goes, that needed to be updated for this would be the River Thomas, who I'm sorry, that's Georgia's injury. The only one I want to revisit there is the River Thomas. He missed the Tennessee game, too, with a foot injury. And Kirby said he's good to go. Next is the Warren Brinson injury update. The Georgia defensive end or tackle was again out against Tennessee. And the Bulldogs were hoping that Brinson's calf injury will heal up and be ready for this Georgia Tech game. He's still really going to be a game-time decision. Georgia playing some of the best football, at least of this season. It's hard to compare them to the last two teams. They're a little bit different. They're not quite as offensively dynamic and not really as deep defensively, especially in the front. But they're still undefeated. they're still a team that really has come into their own in the last couple of weeks, and going to be very, very difficult task for Georgia Tech to not only defeat, but even stay in touch with by halftime. Hayes King, dynamic. All things equal, in a head-to-head matchup, the current player personnel, the situation for both teams, and the form of these two programs, really all systems go. If the Yellow Jackets can play their best and the Dogs continue to get better and join at the hip as they have the last couple of weeks, Georgia's going to put up about 50 points in this game, I believe, and neighboring Tech would check in right around 20. That's a pretty big difference, right? Well, the spread's right there. If again, all things equal, if this game's a 50-20, a 52-21 game, Georgia covers, they win, they move on to the championship game, and that's how I expect this game to play out. I like Georgia to cover the number and to win fairly easily. Again, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. From now until Sunday at Sports Memo Wager Talk, the 26th at midnight, you can get a 7-day all-access pass for only $69. No code necessary. Head over, check everything out, get your favorite handicapper, and again, 7 days, all-access pack, only $69. Thanks.